Statsky!
And action.
It's my first time on set.
And action.
Max, finale. As we did with Deborah in episode 101, we start behind Ava and follow her as she moves through the set.
That shot was so beautifully choreographed.
We did try to make it as similar as possible to the opening from the pilot. We start behind Deborah, now Ava, with the run of lights kind of pinging into lens. It's like very similar amount of steps this way, and then all the way back as the lights were being brought up. So we did try to mimic a lot of the action.
We tried to get as many of our crew into the show as possible. Rosie, our first AD, his voice is there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day one of Who's Making Dinner?
This season was about Deborah's legacy, but it was also about exploring what Ava's life would look like after the show.
We're proud of Ava. We're so proud of her.
This mirroring is kind of like, we know who Ava has been. This is kind of like, that's who she was, and this is now, I'm gonna cry. This is now who she is.
You can do this. You just have to find a way to prove it to her.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Deborah, Marty, and Marcus walk through a hallway. They walk into the Deborah Vance Comedy Club.
We were really excited to give Deborah and Marcus a shared goal.
Welcome to the Diva. Let's have a great night.
And so for them to now have this place, it's a really special thing for their relationship.
The Deborah Vance Comedy Club, where she's going to help lift up young comedians who are trying to find their voice. That is another part of her legacy.
The unique chemistry that exists when this group of people are together. It's impossible to get everyone back together in the same way.
And now we will officially christen this place.
See, I had drank the first bottle of champagne, and now this is what I get.
I drank the first bottle, and this is what you get. Get back.
Okay, no.
You're not gonna like this next part.
I'm not doing chemo.
I'm not putting myself through that.
That's something we knew from the pitch. She always said that Deborah was going to get sick, she was not to do treatment, and that she was going to want to call her own light. Because somebody who does things her way, it did feel like what we wanted to do.
And needs to be in control.
That's the thing. It's really about control. Control of her vanity, control of her life, control of her legacy, writing what my story is and what I leave behind. And so she really wanted to be in control of that.
Wants to take that trip to Europe sooner rather than later.
This trip is really a Deborah imparting every lesson she can in what time she has left. In that episode where they're on the walk and they get lost.
But you've been to Paris.
No, again, out of the country would include Paris.
Deborah is aghast.
You've never had real bread.
From there, we know that she needs to take her to Paris.
Ava is now near tears. Deborah is filming on her phone.
Sorry!
Why am I in the rough draft of a car?
And I think that she puts the idea of what's supposed to happen at the end of the trip in the back of her mind and tries to just have fun, which I think for the most part she does. But then when they are at the club and probably on Molly, something just changes for Ava and she sees this trip for what it is and she just can't let it go.
Ava and Deborah smoke cigarettes as they watch the sunrise.
Time for me to go to sleep.
When she's injured on that walk and Ava says, I'm going to try and get help, she says, please don't leave me. That's a refrain we've also continued to repeat in the show.
I like that. I gotta write that down.
No, don't leave me. I think I should go ahead and find help.
No, don't leave me.
Please don't leave me.
I'm sorry.
Ava finds Deborah sitting outside a cafe. Ava sits down next to her.
I have to show you something.
What?
It's like, are you kidding? It tortured you for 6 years.
Do you have, like, huge hands?
Hey, you! Sad little girl with the big hands. Where are you from? Ah, here we go! Ow, that hurt! God, it's like high-fiving the hole!
What's weird is we wrote that joke before we cast Hannah Einbinder.
Yes.
But then she showed us a photograph of Hannah as a kid, and her hand is
large.
My hands had grown before the rest of my body.
And it was also the camera angle. It looked like she had unusually...
Like really alien style. Your hands are bigger than mine?
I can't believe you never noticed! Jimmy! What? I don't like the corner office. It's too small.
I feel like I can't breathe in there. They did something to the walls, like they shrunk the walls or something. Honey, I shrunk the office.
To come back to where they started, they're able to take over the company that was started by their fathers
Back together.
in a direction that is both Jimmy and Kayla. We leave them in a place that I'm really excited about their future together. Well, I guess we'll talk soon.
Very soon.
Kayla!
Deborah and Ava have croissants and coffee as they wait for their train.
Deborah being reignited by the idea of writing a new hour with Ava being the thing that would make her want to fight to live was always the thing that we were writing towards.
The worst part of dying is that I don't get to see how my corgis decide to spend that $550,000.
I love when Jean reaches for the notebook. She realizes she can't stop having Joe.
Ava, wait.
Deborah realizes that what's worth living is laughing with your friend, and she's got this person, and it's so rare to find that. And then she chases her through the train station just like she chased her with the car.
Oh my God.
She says the exact same line, "That's the better joke."
That's the better joke.
Kind of like, ah, crap. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. And now it's like, they pull me back. I may not have 30 years. But I think I have another hour. As exciting as it was to be in Paris, to be away from the majority of our crew seemed strange. You ready?
Yeah.
This is wild. But in 2019, when Jen, Lucia, and I wrote the pilot, we decided to rent an Airbnb in Paris. Flash forward 7 years later, we're filming the very last shot. And then I looked up and realized we happened to be on the exact same street as the apartment where we wrote the pilot 7 years earlier. It's very full circle, so it was really surreal.
Deborah and Ava walk through the massive gallery all alone.
We were only allowed to have 10 people total in the space. Keith, my makeup artist, wasn't even allowed in. So when I said, I think I need a little bit of powder, Lucia got so excited. She goes, oh, let me do it, let me do it.
Ooh, hello. Look at the fangs on that girl. I had this moment in the Louvre with Lucia where she was like, "This is like the last day you're gonna be Ava." And I was like, what?
She's your friend.
Yeah.
And Deborah's my friend.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't get to see our friend. Moment when Lucia said, and that's a wrap. We're in this giant hall, just the two of us on our backs. That was it.
That's a wrap. I honestly feel like when the finale airs is when it's going to be the most emotional for me.
This whole season has been about coming home and being in Las Vegas, and so we did know we wanted to end there. It's like this glittering strip in the middle of the desert, which is uninhabitable, and yet people live there, and I think it's symbolically appropriate that this place that represents survival is the place that Deborah and Ava would be at the end. She's decided to fight another day.
And we're so lucky we got to see it through.
Deborah and Ava laugh hard and walk, side by side down the Champ de Mars. Their riffing is overtaken by music. As we pan up to reveal the Eiffel Tower, music swells, and we match cut to the Eiffel Tower in Vegas. We pan down and land on Deborah and Ava. Still walking, still riffing. They continue on, writing new material as the camera climbs skyward. Deborah and Ava become smaller and smaller as we float over the strip, that gaudy, shimmering mirage rising from the Mojave. We see all of Las Vegas now, proof that life can flourish in the most unlikely places. Its very existence a testament to survival, and a sparkly, defiant survivor at that.